Life by You. Oh, that was the Sims-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Should we just do the same thing we did the other day? Top 3 from each of us. One by one.
In no particular order.
No particular. Yeah, just three highlights of the day.
Yeah.
And we'll come
right now or after.
No.
So it's a little break.
We're doing a break. We're doing a break.
That's fast.
We're taking a break.
Okay.
Like I said, we're gonna play the wholesome direct while we're gone for those that missed it, because we have a lot of people that have come in a little later. Yeah, today, like I said, today was early. And you know, it's not even noon, and we're you know, getting into our last hour of stream. But yeah, we'll take a break, put on the wholesome direct for a little bit while we're gone, like 10-15 minutes, and then, you know, we'll get our promo out there. There's a lot of stuff on the site also if you want to go peek at that. If you already watched the wholesome direct and you're here during this break, you could take a moment to read some of the recaps from yesterday. Again, the way this all works, the timeline's all funky, right? Like, we watch the shows, we break out all the videos, and then we write, and then we publish it the next day for what was happening the day before. It's funky. But we have recaps on the Tribeca and the Accessibility Summer Showcase that we wrote up. So go check those out. But yeah, we'll take a 10-15 minute break. We'll come back. We'll recap our vibes on all 3 shows from today. Give our top 3 spotlights. Not top 3, just 3 spotlights from the day. And then we will wrap up and get ready for tomorrow, which is going to be another big day.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the best all-around day so far.
Yeah.
I think
so too.
And it's actually by the power of future play and future games. I feel like Wholesome was great as always, but it's like it's always great, right? Like
yeah.
And these 2 other shows rose up to the next level, you know.
Rise up, shows.
Ben, perfect timing to go on break
Good
with
morning.
us. Good morning.
And you get to catch some of the Wholesome direct that we're going to play during the break.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gloria. It's one of those things. It's like, you know, like yesterday we wrote 3,000 words between the 2 of us, pretty much. I think maybe 2,500, something like that, for those 2 showcases, because we wanted to. Every day we try to break up. The way we present the information. I don't even know what we're gonna do for today, honestly, but
we're gonna pull out highlights for every single one of the 200 games.
That's the
my god.
We'll be up until tomorrow's stream.
That's what I say. 173 is a bit much. At one point, I was thinking in the back of my brain, maybe I'll shout out my roots with the Game Awards.
Oh god.
And do a rating and ranking of all the reveals, but no, I don't think I can handle that for today.
I don't think I can handle editing that.
That was like 50 things at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
This is 173. So yeah. 200 articles. Yeah, one per game.
One per game? Yeah, that's fair.
It's just one line in the trailer.
Bro, there's sites that actually do that genuinely.
Yeah, they copy the the
Steam page.
The Steam
intro.
page.
Yep.
All right.
That's not our kind of journalism, okay?
We do real journalism here.
All right, gamers. We will take... Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, we did... Like, again, we want to try to break it all up, and, like, we did the 8 top games from Gorilla already, like, so we, like... It's so hard to figure out the best way. Again, we could just lean back on a spotlight article, but, you know, like to mix it up. So we'll brainstorm. We'll figure it out.
We'll see.
Yeah, again, break, 10-15 minutes, come back, recap, and 3 spotlights from each of us. Let's go. Let's do it. We'll be right back. I'll get this playing, and I'll start, and then you'll see me, Oscar, disappear, and we'll be good to go. All right. BRB gamers. Doing it again. Hi. Hi, gamers.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Anyone knows that ref, you know? Banana Freddy's. Hi, gamers.
Everybody enjoying the wholesome rewatch?
Yeah, I'm glad gamers are having a blast watching. Yeah.
So much in here.
What a day. Starting at 8 a.m. bright and early. And we're now at noon. We're just at noon and we're getting ready to wrap up. Genuinely don't know if it's going to be worse for me or not. Thinking of taking a nap after this. But I don't know.
We're going on a hike after this, so I'm
Bro, what's wrong?
I'm gonna go touch
with
grass.
you? I should do that.
After hundreds of games, valid.
We gotta go touch grass.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Yeah, today was one of the most exciting days, Jerry. Wholesome, future of play, and the future games showcase. And again, as like we said earlier, today was one of the best days, if not the best day, and it's because future of play and the future game show rose up in quality a bunch. Where wholesome games is always killer, but then future of play had their best show yet, and future games show may have had their best show yet. And so this is just a fun, exciting day. Lots to love for our community specifically, our wholesome, cozy vibe, farming sim gang community. But just in general, lots to love of what today was shown. Yeah, just before we get into our big showcases, just any just overall vibes of the day.
Bring back cheesy, cheeky hosts. Watching the last show, their future games, was a delight.
Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal and Laura Bailey were the hosts for the future game show, and yeah, just perfect. Like, good writing, little cheesy, but like well performed, well said. You know, like just nailed.
It's like a smoked Gouda. Like it's not no Kraft American. It's like a smoked Gouda cheesy.
It was well done. Future of Play, it's interesting because Future of Play defines itself as the kind of Toonami inspired, you know, VTuber hosted showcase. And so in the past they've had a lot of like kind of like more interstitials, more skits, more talking from Melios, and this year they pulled back on that. It was a lot of just game like nonstop.
I feel like they were building that whole persona, that whole sort of flavor
right. They had to
for themselves.
Make the character.
Now it's like established, and so we got just little sprinkles of it throughout. So we still had the personality, but we got more of a focus on games, which was nice because they had a bunch of good ones.
For her missing mother.
And then Wholesome, again, always brilliant and nailed it again. You know, just
love the inclusion of Gab Smolders. Been watching Gab, for cozy and spooky for several years now.
Yeah, and the other host is a TikTok creator where wholesome and cozy games are kind of, that's like a little whole side of TikTok, and very cool to see, them spreading out their wings and their hosts and pulling in some new folks. And as was something that was brought up after Summer Game Fest, one of the most exciting things about today was across all three shows, just one male host, all the rest women hosts, and the Future of Play was like clear to point out via a tweet afterwards. Yeah, like they were all going hard on this after the next day. Lots of specifically women developers in the Future of Play show. Because yeah, again, a major issue of the Summer Game Fest show having no women on stage, all men.
In the heart of the wilderness.
So if they were doing a lot of, hey, if you're looking for that, come watch our shows, okay? So yeah, very, very cool.
Tend to your garden, brew
Well,
delicious
I mean,
tea, and adventure out into the wilds.
without further
to
ado, I
harvest
guess,
the
huh?
riches of
I
nature.
guess.
We'll
Get
just,
into
just,
it.
just tune in with people real quick. Yeah, Jaireen is back. Kat's back. Sam got the strawberries coming in.
Love it.
We love it.
Carve out your
Yeah,
own
yeah.
special corner of home.
Yeah,
in
yesterday was
beautiful,
even more.
mysterious
Yeah.
land.
Like the diversity of the teams yesterday was even better.
Yeah.
There were some moments. We were talking about it afterwards. There were some moments that were a little funky in yesterday's shows. Specifically in the Tribeca one, that had some funky moments of interesting wording of things said. There was the one team that was making the game that was set in the Middle East, and the like white guy who owned the company was like, we weren't sure if we would find a lot of talent here in the Middle East, and we got lucky.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay. Especially
A little whistle there.
especially after like making an emphasis on how this game was honoring the Middle East, to then go, yeah, we didn't think we'd find a lot of talented people out here, but hey, we lucked out, man. I was like, okay.
That was wacky.
But ever since then, it's just good vibes. So let's start out our recap. Again, we are our spotlights. We are picking 3 each. 3 games that just stood out to us from across the 3 different shows. So I guess, yeah, I have to pull up each one in a different YouTube video here because we had 3 shows. And it'll be much easier to do this than to try to search across one giant video.
I got the whole list here. I can let you know where everything is in relation to others.
Thank you. Okay. Starting out, I kick off. Oh, look at this. The future of play is vibing. They got chapter breaks for all the games in their
Already?
video. Oh,
That's nice.
well, because it was a YouTube premiere, so it was already built in, right? Like they
Oh.
just had all this done.
I see.
So Cavern of Dreams is my first pick. Cavern of Dreams is a N64 PSX inspired little platformer where you play as a little dino dragon. Sorry, excuse me. Plays a little dragon trying to get all your siblings. Your siblings, the eggs of your siblings have all been stolen and scattered across this landscape, and you're trying to go back and find them. This is an interesting one because it's not like there's any secret information that, like interesting little details that I'm pulling out. It's just that it's nailing the vibe, right? Like this is Banjo. This is, Tamba. This is, Super Mario 64. And it feels like it captures with the character models, with the textures, the world design, just nailing that vibe better than I've seen in a long time. And yeah, I really appreciate what this game was showcasing. And a few things. One, on their Steam store page, they come out to they emphasize that this game is completely non-violent. There's no combat. You're not like killing monsters or, even if it's playful, jumping on guys, right? No, it's exploration, it's puzzles, and it's platforming. It's just pure platforming. And so that's cool. And on top of that, this is coming to us from Super Rare Originals. Friends of VGG, I'll say, at least a little bit. Which is a really cool organization that not only is publishing really interesting games, but they are one of those boutique publishing companies where they're putting out the physical releases for a lot of indie games. You have to imagine a game under their original label will probably get, because they'll publish games outside of there. You have to imagine a game under their original label would get a cool physical release, and it would be really cool to have like a collectible like N64 inspired cart or something to come with your physical copy. But yeah, it's, again, like I said, not like I've got some like really interesting information about like the in-depth mechanics here. Like it's a platformer. It's that N64 style, so it's a little bit of a collectathon. Again, that storyline of collecting your siblings, the eggs of your siblings, is vaguely like reminiscent of the first Spyro, and I think maybe it's in Spyro 2 too, but where you're going around trying to unfreeze the statues of the dragons that like the villain put into to stone, and kind of gives that vibe. But yeah, like it just again nailing the aesthetic, getting the support of a team like Super Rare, by 9 Studio, vibes. Anyone else want to hop in on this one?
You know, you nailed it. It's like that N64, you know, Glover, Super Mario 64, Banjo, Tombo, like all those games where you're just running around nice little world, collecting things and just helping out people, and you get the nice platforming, nice puzzles. It's just a little, you know, as much as it is, you know, kind of tricky to do all these things, just a cozy little, just adventure with your little bud, and it doesn't need to be, you know, cutting edge graphics. It's just enough to be like, I'm enjoying this, you know.
And again, yeah, the non-violent approach it is a unique take, right? Like even in the most silly and cutie games, you still have like squishing monsters. Like, you always think about that like angle of like people always point that out. Like we'll make like a flash animation of like what it's really like in the Mario world, and like Mario jumps on a Goomba and they're like blood curdling screams. You know what I mean? Like it is like when you really think about it, it's like that's kind of fucked up. Or you know, Spyro burning people to a crisp. You know, like Kirby swallowing people.
It's pretty dark.
So like this one, just kind of having that non-violent kind of approachable design. Be curious to see like, you know, how difficult the puzzles are, how difficult the platforming is. If there's toggleable stuff to where, you know, maybe this is a game kids can easily hop into and appreciate too. Be curious to see. That's coming October 19th, so it's not that far away either. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of 2024 labels put on stuff, so it is nice to see 2023 releases in here. Yeah, did you have anything, or do you want to?
I think you hit it all, but yeah, it caught my attention too, for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, Fish. Your first game.
My first game. Let's start off with Resistor.
Resistor.
Resistor is I think Julie probably is a better idea.
Future game show at the top, right after the performance.
Yeah, so Resistor is a turbocharged, narrative-driven adventure RPG featuring open-world exploration, stunt-infused racing, and explosive vehicular combat. Build up your team and unravel a twisting story as you compete to take down an oppressive megacorporation and its enigmatic director. This really caught, I think, everyone's eye when we first saw it, just because the art is really crazy, the combat looks fun, the racing looks fun, and just from what I read about the story afterwards, the story is pretty interesting as well. And it's you know, we're in the near future, it's 2060, and Aster, our main protagonist there, is competing in a kind of world stage race where all the nations kind of send out their teams and their racers for a chance to win permanent citizenship into like the mega city, the utopia. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the poor keep staying poor, and like, oh, you have the chance to reach this big thing if you have, but obviously
like killing each other in this race.
Yeah, like a very Hunger Games-esque, you know. And you can see even just from the trailer, like it really depends on how much money you have, who you know, and it's kind of the lowly people like our friend Aster here never gets to really compete in these sorts of things, because, you know, we just can't compete with someone who has the resources to win these. But, you know, we have the fire in our hearts to help cure our ailing mother. So, you know, we have that passion in us, like we have to win this to get citizenship into the city and get the medicine that we deserve, or that we need. We also deserve, everyone deserves to have medicine available to them. So, but you can see here from all the art, there's, you know, open world. You have to build your team and climb the ranks. You see all these other participants in the race that they have all super big personalities. So you're like, oh, you know, see the twins, you see this guy who's like really cool, you see the veteran there, like the old guy who's been racing for years, you know. And yeah, like you can also has like a kind of like a base building aspect to it as well as capitalize your growing reputation to improve your base and develop areas of the map under your influence. So you know you're making friends and making connections with these people all around the land, to you know keep rising you up through those ranks to get to that top spot. As well as that, you have your typical stuff that you expect with something like this, with outfits, vehicle parts, customizations, different music tracks that you can put into the game while you're racing, and you know all full customization of your vehicles and stuff. So I'm gonna definitely be playing this. I hope you guys love it too, because this is great. It's reminiscent of Redline, reminiscent of like a Trigun, Mad Max, Hunger Games, all things I'm huge fans of. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as I freak out about Beastie Ball every other day, since its reveal, I love when a game adds narrative, adds, you know, interesting mechanics on top of existing systems of like sports games and things like that. So having I didn't realize like the open world aspect, the base building. Sam's back hearing Redline. You know, the narrative driven stuff, the building the team, you know, makes me wonder if like some of the characters that you mentioned, like the twins that are a little sassy and the veteran, right? Like, okay, are they purely rivals, or can you recruit them to your team? You know, like I'd be curious to see that. Again, like the anime inspiration there too, of like, you know, those classic, you know, like character trope, relationship tropes, you know, like that they just always hit. They always work so well. Like again, yeah, like just these twins and these like, you know, maid outfits with you know, the pastel colors. This one is Resistor. Resistor, yeah. Here, I'll put on the last screen again. Yeah, no, really like the vibes. Totally out of nowhere. You know, one I had not heard anything of. This was a world premiere, I think, so maybe it was the first time anyone's seen it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really caught all our eyes, I think, and yeah, hyped to see more. Hyped to see, like, I want to see, hearing all that stuff you're reading, you know, like, I want to see how that manifests. I want to see the base building. I want to see the open world perspective. Like, are you just driving around all the time, you know? And it does feel like, you know, aesthetically and narratively, yes, Mad Max, but there was the Mad Max game, right? That was an open world game where you were just driving around. You could upgrade your car, customize your car. Like, I'm curious to see if that comes through at all. And yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
Is that all you got to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well, then it's your turn then, gamer.
All right, gamer. I'm...
Where are we going?
Going to start... Let's go, I guess, Fields of Mistria.
That was the final here in the Wholesome, correct?
Final in Wholesome, yes.
Oh, it was the 90s, like, anime.
Yeah.
One that doesn't look really cool.
So I think this was the first time anyone's seen anything from that first trailer. What'd you catch?
You see that at the very bottom of the screen?
Guest music by Toby Fox.
Guest music by Toby Fox, the composer and creator and genius of Undertale fame.
Let's freaking go then! Another reason to be hype about it. So this is a farming sim. It's like inspired by, you know, some of the classic 90s ones.
Glory's going off.
Everyone is very hot in this game. It's beautiful design, beautiful character design. So it really caught my eye. I mean, reading about it, it just looks like a bunch of, you know, the usual farming sim type of stuff. You got farming, fishing, mining, crafting, sort of like relationship building, 12 marriage candidates.
Hey, yo.
The like pink cow that I called out earlier, that's apparently a thing. You can like breed rare color variants of your livestock.
You
I
that.
will die for March right now.
No,
I'll
no,
make
no,
that
no.
life.
I'm glad you very quickly got back on it because you were talking about marriage candidates and then you said, so the pink cow, I'm really excited about that. And I was like, what?
Marry the
You're gonna
cow.
marry the cow? And then you're like, you can breed. I was like, oh.
That
Wait, then you
that
said you
was
can
separate.
breed. And I said, oh.
That was obviously separate.
Okay,
There was a
continue.
comma there.
Is
Period.
polyamory an option? I do not know that.
I honestly think, because I've heard there was another farming sim recently where someone asked that question, and I honestly, it's got to be that it's just hard to program that, right? Or they have to build the whole game around that almost, because like when they move in with you, you know, like then you have to have like multiple rooms for the two, you know what I mean? Like all these, like the way Stardew does it, right? They have the little room that's just for the one person, you know,
yeah,
like
but
I know,
you don't
there's
have to
ways.
do it that way.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like the fact that no one does it still, right? Like there's still not polyamory options in any of these, even after years of indie devs making them and loving, you know, like it's interesting.
I mean, I'm sure there's people have like done successful mods for it,
Yeah.
so I think it should be possible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm
I
just
know.
saying that's
But
the
you're saying,
only
like, it's hard.
that's the only thing I could think of, right? Like how come it hasn't been done yet?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so pretty. All the interior decor we just saw. It's got like magic that'll help you with your farm and your adventures. Obviously we are really in on Sunhaven right now, another magical type farming sim, and that's super fun. And there's just a lot you can do with that to like sort of break out of the limitations of the genre and those staples that we always see. So
That duck's got a hat.
yeah. Is that a capybara?
Yeah,
Oh, you
And
can
that
have
duck's
a
got a hat.
capybara on your farm.
and that rooster's got shades,
And one of them's got a flower crown.
and that buffalo or whatever's got a cowboy hat.
Oh, little cowboy. Yeah, just lots of little delightful things to take in.
Love the style.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that while we were watching it, I was really interested in is this part towards the end of the trailer where it kind of sells a more involved adventuring, dungeoning Highland cows. I see. I think it had maybe you could put on the horns or whatever, or like part of the hat was the horns, maybe. What was I gonna say?
Something about adventuring.
Oh, the adventuring and exploring of like the mines and other things here is kind of Zelda-esque, which is really cool because a lot of times some of that exploration is a little limiting and not as exciting because it's just within the like restraints of the exploration farming mechanics, you know. To see some of this stuff, like just watch some of these combat systems. Like you got puzzles, you know, you got the full-on flipping switches, finding treasure chests, some engaging combat.
Yeah, combat looks good.
Again, more treasure chests every time. Exciting. I want to shout out this. I don't know if people caught this. Yeah, interaction with Juniper. Oh, here's the full. I was doing this while you were talking, but all right. Here's our full breakdown. We got here. Pull up the names. I'll list them off for you, Chad. We got Celine. We got it's not in order of the here. We got Balor is the second one. We got Juniper there, and then we got March the Tsundere blacksmith there on the end, and then we've got Reina coming in. We've got Hayden, who's I think Hayden was the first one where we said, "Oh no, they're hot." We got the I'm curious, like I'm getting the vibe that they're like the scientists of the town, right? Valen here.
Yeah, or like
With the
doctor
shades,
or
yeah.
something.
Needs to
Always
pass
gotta have a
out.
doctor.
Go sleep.
Oh, go sleepy,
Go
Rinks.
sleep, Rinks.
We'll miss you.
And then we have
Rius?
Rius. R-Y-I-S. The 12 marriage. Oh, and then there's two more. We got Adeline and
Island.
Island. Eiland. Please go sleep, Rinks.
And a couple of mysteries.
Yeah, mystery romances. Interesting, like, shapes, too. Whether we got buns or we got, like, bear ears, you know? Who knows?
It's a bear.
But those are feathers on the right.
Yeah, they're
A little.
getting interesting. Yeah, no, wait. Just January. Oh, and this is the one. Well, a late night visit. However, will we pass the time?
Ooh,
And the wink. You see the wink.
okay.
And then she goes, cards, checkers.
I
So
love
yeah,
it. I love it already.
good night, Rinks.
Bye, Reed.
Thanks for
Good
stopping
night.
by. Again, you would have to stay up pretty late, but tomorrow we're back at 10, starting at 10, with Xbox. That's gonna be a big one. But yeah, no, I agree. This just really showed incredibly well. Again, I love the pixel art. I love the just like really condensed character models. Like they're little stocky little dudes. Yeah, I'm really-
Diving for fish. Catch fish with your bare hands. You know fish is gonna be in there.
fish be
Coming
catching
out like
fish.
a prune.
Yeah, I'm 100% excited for Fields of Mistria coming 2024. I've been following this on Twitter as well for a minute, and I've seen some screenshots here and there. So really nailing the 90s vibe, anime vibes too. That first shot of Celine. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, it's perfect.
Stunning.
Yeah, Fields of Mistria. Anything you want to add there, Fishy?
No, I mean I've just fallen in love with the '90s anime just because I'm a little '90s baby, so seeing stuff like this is just very nostalgic. It puts me in a good mood when I see it, and having that married with a farming sim, which is every single person in this room enjoys. It's just gonna be a fun time. I want to breed some pink cows. I want to smonch with Celine.
You gonna smonch those Sailor Moon eyes,
Yeah.
as Sam says. Sailor Moon ass eyes. Yeah, no, looks fantastic. Super excited for that. What a way to end the. They hit the one last thing, and I feel like Wholesome's done that a few times, and it's like, oh, that's just also pleasant, But this one was like, oh man, that's actually genuinely exciting. I just saw a game in my email inbox, and I'm like, shit, I wanted to highlight that one too. That one's so exciting, but I don't know if I will. But it's my turn next, so let's see.
We can always do a shout outs like we've been doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like quick little. We're not gonna talk about them, but check them out.
my next one is a really interesting one. And was it in this show?
Tell me what it was.
Pizza.
Pizza Possum.
Yeah, it was like midway through this show.
Okay, let me find it. I think I found it. My next game
Is not this one.
is not this one. I'm waiting a sec. All right, my next game,
Yes.
Manitas Kitchen. Really exciting, really interesting right out the gate. You are playing as Trexito, a T-Rex who wants to be a pizza chef. But because of the short little arms, you got to get a little creative with the ways that you get this pizza made. You're having to pick the dough up with your nose. You got to spread the sauce with your tail. You got to very violently throw the toppings onto the pizza. Just excellent vibes in all those ways. But there's some stuff that they didn't show in the trailer that's really interesting. They mention it. Be warned here. There's stuff going on here because there is competition afoot, because you see there on the counter is your boss. Let me see. Let me see if we got a name.
What is it?
It's there's no name for him, but he's a very rude and very tiny boss, and he might be running something in the basement. He might be running a
He
little
seems like he
crime
would.
syndicate in the basement. And so on their Steam page, they say this has a crime drama narrative.
That's
And I
great.
said, huh? I did not catch that at all. That's amazing. So while you're running the pizza restaurant, you're trying to figure out what your boss is up to down in the basement. And yeah, the things they're showing here. So this is not going to be, this is going to be I imagine, single player experience, which is cool because
I thought it said 4-player co-op.
they didn't say that.
Really?
I think go back in the trailer a little bit for this. I think I saw in the captions. Yeah.
Well, no,
Trexie there. I guess just.
yeah, because I think the way they're doing it is interesting, where Trexie can only do so much, right? The limitations, so you can use your you can see on the top, right? It's almost like cooldown abilities,
Skills, yeah.
yeah, to hop in and help you with some of the tasks as you're running around, chaotically managing the kitchen as you do in these games. Look how powerful Trexie is, balancing that pizza completely vertically on the nose. I mean, come on, get excited.
Excited.
But no, yeah, it like that whole crime drama thing is really interesting. There's a whole mention of you have to manage Trexie's mental state. She gets stressed as you're doing it, and gets frustrated by the limitations of the T-Rex body to do this pizza work, and you'll have to make sure to not you have to make sure to not Mom Toy just appeared with
This one's for you, Jay Reed.
yeah. And Sam, do we get these from your garden? Maybe did you deliver these? Yeah, just genuinely already looks really cute, really interesting gameplay wise. But then to have that really interesting narrative. Yeah, see, here's the stress management. I'm saying I can't take it anymore.
I have been there. I also love a Triceratops with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, so I guess that's cookie. You can have them cook
What is that?
the pizza. Yeah, that's where I was like, wait, are you getting shot at? But no, it's a friend. That's one of the skills. That's one of the
blasting it.
yeah with heat.
Love it.
Yeah, no, that's one of those. This is one of those ones where it was totally worth looking into because holy shit, all the extra little things in there are really good. I don't know if it has a Steam demo. Blastoise. I'm not even gonna try. My brain's so dead. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. But it seems like it has a demo on itch.io. So it's not on Steam, but there's a very early in progress demo on itch. So go check it out because that's exciting. I've been downloading hella Steam demos, and now I'm gonna try to download that because Manitas Kitchen has officially caught my eye. Do you two have anything to add to the T-Rex stress management crime drama pizza game?
Talk about dino duality, am I right, guys?
No.
Just yeah.
I mean, even just looking at the pizza flavors, it looks like a fun cooking game, like a carbonara pizza. I guess the last cooking game we played was Played Up, which has a pretty limited
pepperoni
roster. So yeah, it just looks fun.
I thought it was.
That was it. It just looks fun.
Just looks fun.
And then everything else you said.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, again, yeah, just to learn more details about what's going on behind the scenes of this one is really interesting. Curious to see where that storyline goes, how far out of the kitchen the game takes you. Because it's a very small space. I'm curious to see how much customization happens, the growth of the kitchen, who knows, And Sam, you never have to pardon your dinosaur childhood. I just simply am going on 30, 40 hours of work this week, these last 3-4 days. So I can't begin to, you know what? Styracosaurus. I think I nailed that. Styracosaurus. I think I nailed that. Anyway, so yeah, that was Manitas Kitchen. Fish, you are up next.
In me, with no surprise to anyone, we are going to be talking about Reveil, which stood out to me among the other games, other horror games that were shown, because they made it very clear, pretty explicit in the trailer that it is a more narrative, psychological horror rather than just a purely, horror game, a la, jump scares, which after playing horror games, most, if not all horror games for the past, 20, 25 years, the jump scares get a little old. I can still enjoy one from time to
Oh
time.
my god.
But I do enjoy now into my older years a more puzzle focused, more psychological horror focused horror game, and that's
Yeah,
what
that's-
Reveil is. Reminiscent of something like In Sound Mind, Soma, Silent Hill, where it's more of building that atmosphere of like, I am deeply uncomfortable for the entirety of this experience, and not just like, oh, spooky, okay, let's move on. It is a narrative first-person psycho thriller game that focuses on story, puzzles, and exploration. Find out what's going on inside Walter Thompson's, and it's what is dark past, and the Nelson Bros Circus has something to do with it. So it's basically just a walking sim-esque game where you're going through trying to find out why you woke up in this 1960s era circus, where your wife and child are, why you have no memories, and just figuring out what's going on. It's going to be very, very focused on building that atmosphere, that very uncomfortable, very disturbing atmosphere, because I hate clowns personally. So just waking up in a place like this, I'd be like, I'm done. Don't need to walk inside. As soon as I see one clown, I'm out. So already a very scary setting. Waking up with no memories, without the people that you thought were with you, is already a terrifying thought enough. And having to uncover all of this by yourself, by grabbing fragments of memories, kind of piecing everything together, is going to be a little fun time. Deeply psychological experience. 5 playable acts with carefully designed environments. I'm guessing we're going to be very focused on different parts of the circus in every act, or different parts, just of your brain. Something like In Sound Mind, which focused on it was like 4 or 5 different patients. Here it might just be like 4 or 5 different like core memories that you have in the game. Super puzzle focused, as you can see from the spot we kind of paused on here, which I enjoy. I do enjoy me a little puzzle.
I paused here because I was like, I love me a little tilty whirly.
Yeah, a little tilty puzzle. So apparently it's a multi-layered narrative with psychedelic, biographical, and disturbing elements. So it's going to be very, very story focused, which I very much enjoy. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the one playing this out of everyone here, and I will be enjoying every minute of it. I'll probably be streaming it somewhere, just because I do enjoy all this. I'm sure you guys probably won't have much to touch on this, so that's why I kind of just like focusing on it myself, just because this is one for me.
I do. This is as I'm growing out of my baby years, now that I'm almost 30. I've started to dabble more and more in horror, and this is more my speed, right? Like, it's not jump scares, it's not survival, it's just unraveling the story. And the thing I wanted to hone in on that they said in that Spider-Man and MJ said as they led into this is the inspirations were, I think I remember, Edith Finch, right?
Edith Finch and PT, which was both.
Oh wait, no.
Well loved.
Or was that a different one?
That was a different game.
No, that
was Ludo.
But
Ludo.
What I was gonna say, what weird enough though, is that this game gives me Edith Finch vibes, right? As you're walking through some of these spaces and things are unfolding around you, and you're walking into like confusing, places that kind of mold and shift around you. Like there's a screen as I was going. I'm trying to find a fun way to present these as we're talking, right? I play the trailer in full, and as we keep talking, I go back and like kind of just go screen by screen. There's like a room with like bendy chess pieces and stuff, So yeah, I'm I'm definitely interested in this as well. Yeah, I'm testing the waters more and more, and this is again my speed. I just reviewed the Tartarus Key, which is a similar thing, puzzle focused, not a ton of jump scares. It's more about building atmosphere, building that fear, and this feels like a step up from that because at least Tartarus Key was it was all PSX style, right? So it's a lot of blocky people, a lot of shifting textures, flat textures, and you're like, okay, not so scary. This one's a little more, little up, a little higher up. Yeah, good call out. That I can see that for sure. The draped over Justice is Blind kind of statue.
I'm excited to watch Fish stream this.
And as you
Yeah.
you may remember from when we were watching this, me and Oscar were having a lot of fun because the main character is named Walter. Walter, put your trauma away, Walter.
Walter, you can't bottle these feelings up, Walter.
Walter, don't look at the clown, Walter. Find your daughter. Anyways, fun times. Did they have a year or anything? No, just wish list.
2023 was what the Steam
this
page
year?
says.
Nice.
That's what they're aiming for.
Hell yeah. All right. Back to Fern as we close out round 2 and head into our final round of highlights.
Let me go Venba.
And that's in Wholesome.
Yeah, that's in Wholesome.
That one's got a really, that one actually had a bit of a shorter. It's so hard to nail in on some of these gamers.
A little bit past there. So Venba we've seen before at I think at Wholesome.
We've seen it in a
previously.
few
We've
different
seen
places
it,
now.
yeah, multiple places now. Just like very infrequent updates from them, but it's one I've been really excited about. It's got this really beautiful, like hand-drawn, almost like crayon vibes, like colorful style. It's a narrative cooking game. You play as the mom who immigrated to Canada with her family in the 80s. And it's sort of like exploring like her culture through food and like passing it on to her child who we see there. You experience like branching stories. I think there's like an element where you're like trying to remember these recipes.
Pull that out if you.
Yeah, like restoring like lost recipes, trying to figure out like what ingredients are in it and like, you know, from those memories you have of eating them.
Like, I think there's literally even like you pulling out pages of a recipe book from like your like grandma or something, and like it's smudged, you know, and stuff, and you kind of have to like experiment a little bit and try to figure it out.
So that's gonna be really cool. And then seems to just have that really like family and like culture and like legacy based narrative, which is always gonna hit. It's got a really beautiful art style. I've just been so excited for it for so long.
So I was just looking because I was trying to remember. This was actually a Tribeca pick last year.
That's right. I think it was the award winner.
It won? You're right. You're right. I think it did win the Tribeca. Oh, actually, it would be scroll down there.
Yeah.
No, it just says official selection. But here, you're talking about the legacy stuff and this sequence right here. I assume this is the character's mother, and you watch as she ages, you know, over the years of, you know. So does it jump between like you in the present day trying to memorize these things, and then like you're transported back to your childhood maybe, and you see like you're like, how did mom make that again, you know, like, and like
it might. I'm not really sure how much it jumps back and forth.
Gamers, where's my Filipinos?
Rise up.
Where's my Filipinos who can relate to this being hand-fed rice and things in as you're like just like, mom, please stop. Oh, nostalgia.
But yeah, so sort of like puzzle cooking, just beautiful, really distinctive style. Sort of lo-fi beats to cook to. And July.
Yeah, that's a really cute release date reveal where
Yeah, I loved that.
Is it done yet?
Soon.
July 31st. I really like a game that just has like bespoke mini game contextual, actions.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually reminds me a lot of another game that was showcased at CLC in here, and has that blend of like it's simple stuff, but it's got a kind of a puzzly system to it, and not unpacking, and a little to the left. Just that same, like, you're given all the tools. Mr. Detective, I gave you all the tools to make these recipes, right? Like, you're given, like, the bowls are just laid out, and you just kind of like do it, like you just kind of, okay, I think I must put the meat first, and then I put the salt, and then like, and I'm sure if you get it wrong, it goes like, oh, try again, like it just pulls you back, and you go, okay, well, change the order. It's just those simple puzzles. And again, that I think the element of trying to remember these recipes is part of the puzzle element too. Like, it's like, I remember it's something a little sweet, or like stuff like that, I bet is a key to the Venba experience. And we've been following this one for a while, and we're super excited to see it, and it's coming so soon, so that's really exciting. Expect me to at least try to get a copy for review, because this is 100% up our alley. It's beautiful. And then soon after review, probably a stream from Fern. That's like the new meta, I think, is like the games where I'll get the review key, I'll review it, I'll know everything, so I don't play it on stream, but then I hand it over to Fern, who will then take over. And
I'm
play
the
it on
streamer now.
I know, yeah, like that's that might be the balance. But yeah, Venba, anything from you, Fish?
No, I mean, it's beautiful to look at, and just having that personal connection with something like that in the story, like we've all coming from, these POC households where, even I've experienced this exact situation.
Very much
it's just very, very nostalgic, very, hard hitting, close to home. Because it's something we, I've experienced personally. This is something, and it's just beautiful to watch, beautiful to look at.
Even you just being around, again, because obviously there's the Asian connection, right? Like, of being around our household too, like seeing it too, like, yeah, like just totally that relatable, like you said, POC household experience of like sitting in the kitchen, like waiting for your mom to finish cooking that thing you love, and like, what's going on in there? Like, oh, how'd you make that? And kind of watching it unfold in a game, in a puzzle game with a cute style. Hell yeah. Venba.
Coming soon.
Coming
July 31st.
Coming July 31st. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, that's gonna be. And we'll just say it, especially we saw that aging montage. We're gonna cry. We're gonna cry at this game for sure.
But we have the excuse. We can go, who's chopping onions?
Who's chopping those onions? Hey!
It's because I just chopped the onions, okay?
It would be really cool, as Sam was saying. Seems like it would help learn the recipes. It would be cool to do a video series or do something where you try to literally follow the game in actually making the food. I know a lot of people have done stuff like that, and it's really fun. Like, there's a TikTok page I found once of a guy who literally directly follows Cooking Mama recipes, like full on, literally like does the same exact actions and comes out with something edible, So hey, Cooking Mama,
Wild.
Venba seems like a little, at least even a little more enhanced than the Cooking Mama experience. All right, my next and last game. As I said, when we're in the break time, we all kind of sit together and like plot out what we're gonna pick. And I said I made sure to get my picks out first because I knew I was stepping on some toes, some hype toes for this next game, and I genuinely, again, another one of those ones where I read about it a little bit. Can you show me where it is in there? Where I read about it a little bit, and I'm like, oh shit! Like there's even more stuff in here that I did not expect. Oh, early on, I didn't
Pretty
realize.
early.
And my pick is any moment now, any moment. This stream like both went slow and fast, so it's like hard to, I was looking for Oscar's game and it was like, wait, what? It's still all the way over here, I think it's soon, right?
Yeah, right
here.
after.
My game is On Guard. On Guard. Okay, let me get to the start and let the trailer play. On Guard is what they call a swashbuckler action game where you play as where's her name? Adalia de Volador. She's it's Zorro. It's the era of Three Musketeers, the style of Three Musketeers that we grew up with, right? It's cheeky, it's goofy, it's mischievous as you're going through here and taking down some asshole conquistador ass kind of folks. The sword fighting combat, the interaction with the environment. Again, that's what I mean, like that Zorro style of like where everything around you is important to trying to get through these combat scenarios, throwing the lantern on the cannon to blast them away and everything.
Poor guy.
He says like, hey, you shouldn't be here, and then just
did you see the one guy that flies off into space?
We gotta watch that again.
Just watch the one guy who actually gets hit with a cannonball.
Oh my god! He goes.
This also gives me like El Dorado vibes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they went with like a very what they call a painted style that I really like here, and yeah, like my favorite thing as I was reading about this, one of the lines in here says, "Challenge the cruel Count Duke in a post-tyranny with panache," but that's not just a fun flavor text. As you're fighting, you build up a panache meter, and
great.
Once you've got it full, that's when you can trigger it to do some interesting skills that are some of the stuff like I imagine the tap on the shoulder and then poke him in the butt, stab we see here, the throwing of the guitar. Really I love that the panache meter. I love a good themed game, right? Like it really takes it and puts it through the entire experience. I talk about that a lot in a lot of my reviews, like when a game hits for me is when it has one idea that I feel throughout the entire game, and that's what I'm totally getting here from the narrative, from the actual gameplay, from the and then literally what's on the screen with the stuff like the panache meter you want to hit upcoming. I'm just really excited about this. They're promising a full story, of course, but then there's stuff like the arena mode that they're gonna have in here where you can just play with what looks to be a really fun combat system. Like this just looks like it's kind of almost, if gamers out there, we reviewed this as well, have played Sifu, where it's a combat system where again you are interacting with the environment very heavily as you're comboing. You see that chair out the corner of your eye and you're like, okay, let me go over there and kick that at them, and it's that improvisation, that Jackie Chan, that what I mean, like where you're like you're keeping an eye on your surroundings as you go through and fight these guys and figuring out a way to finishing them off as quickly as possible. Another thing I thought was interesting is that they in the on the Steam store page they say story episodes. I'm really liking this new era of games that are kind of they're embracing the episodic, the pick up, play that episode, put it down, move on to something else, come back to it another day, because one, we know there's so many games out there, right? The idea of having like, shout out to S Videotech if you're still out there. The idea of having like just bite pieces of all these games that you can hop into and in one day get a little bit of this, get a little bit of that, get a little bit of this, across these episodes. Really cool. Reason I'm shutting out Videotech. It sounds so weird. I couldn't do it myself. S-Vidi watches like 7 movies at a time in 10-minute chunks. So
Oh.
in one like sitting, we'll watch, or like, you know, again, over a course of multiple days, we'll watch 10 minutes of this movie, 10 minutes of this movie, and just stop, put it down, come back the next day. You know, like I fascinating, but you know what? We all need to be a little bit more like S Videotech, if you ask me. They are a pillar of this community and upstanding citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, as I said, I wanted to rant about this game because it looks amazing, and it just truly, it caught all of our, like, we were like, oh, and I believe that to wrap up my segment here before I let you all talk about other things in it, demo is available, so we can easily hop in here and check this out ASAP. I love. There's something about these showcases where the games with demos do stand out to you because it's very much, oh, you thought this was cool? Literally get it in your hands right now, you know? And so, yeah, I can't wait for this. Looks so cool. Can't wait to blast this guy. Yeah, and you two got anything to add on top of my on guard breakdown?
I'm, you know, you said everything that we're all excited for. I'm get a little bit extra hype level just because it is, you know, España themed, you know, and then so hopefully I do see some, you know, Spanish little wordplay or jokes in there that I get to be like, I know what that means, you know, type things. But you know, it just looks like just a fun time to just be in there.
Swashbuckling, you know what I mean?
Everyone loves a swashbuckler.
It feels like, why was that? It feels like a very 90s thing, like Zorro. Again, that the kind of goofy Musketeers movies that we got growing up, and like that again, and even Jackie Chan, I think, falls into that, right? The charming, aloof action hero who's again improvising throughout the scene.
Aladdin.
We need it. Oh, Aladdin, yeah.
Yeah.
We need it
Yeah,
back.
just-
We need it back. Anything from you?
I love a cheeky hero, a lady swashbuckler.
Hope she's gay.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, just I think like what we saw of the sort of combat, like, just looks really smooth while still being really clever. And like there was this scene with the cannon, you know, it just looks like she's doing it so offhand, like it's
Right.
just so easy. Like that's just really fun to see how those are gonna play out.
That's why, yeah, like that's why I called out the Sifu thing, because it's very, the way they do it there, right, is like you're in combat, but then you see like something will highlight, and then you'll have like a button off to the side that's specifically for those kinds of interactions. And so it's like you can be comboing, and then again, like I said, like you're like just like the character, right, who's looking to improvise, looking to, you go you know, you just tap that real quick and kick the chair over and knock someone over, you know.
Yeah.
It's a fun,
Even just like go back to just the very
This
last fight scene. Yeah,
with
with
the guy. Yeah.
yeah. Even this looks improvised because you're like fighting, you kick him, and it looks like a trigger. It's like, oh, I fell off the stairs, and then
Yeah,
he falls down the
yeah.
stairs, and now the fight's down there. You know, and which isn't like a, you know, a scripted thing. It looks like it's just happening on the fly.
Emergent gameplay, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love it.
And it just gives it like this cinematic feel too, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's like you're playing it but you're watching it and you're like, whoa, that looks so cool.
It's
While
yeah,
you're
it's
also the one doing it.
again. I keep bringing it back to this one game, but Sifu had a very similar thing, right? Where I remember watching footage of that game ahead of time and being like, I don't think I could do that, right? Like it just looked too cool and like really combo heavy, and you're like pulling off some amazing moves. I was like, oh my god, they must be amazing. But then you're in there, and it's like, it makes it so you feel like an action movie star, and so like this is gonna make you feel like a fun little swashbuckler, yeah, just really exciting. It really is one of the games of the show for me. Across all the days so far, just truly looks special in a cool way. All right, Fish, your last game for the spotlights.
To bring it back from the disturbing horror, one game that super stood out to me just because it's reminiscent and nostalgic of games of past, going to be Ruffy and the Riverside. Ruffy is a beautiful game that mixes the 3D environment with 2D characters. So kind of a la Paper Mario, a la what other games do this specifically? There's a few games, but it's just wonderful to look at. Wonderful how seeing these characters interact with the environment. But what's special about this game, besides it being, looks like a little puzzle platformer, action platformer, is that you have what they're showing right now is this swap ability. So you're able to swap the textures from anything in the game, or probably most things in the game, with anything else. So right there, there's a waterfall. We want to get up the waterfall. There's a vine thing next to you, so swap the waterfall with the vines, and now you can climb that up. Or here you want to make a painting, so you can swap the art from there and put it on that that canvas. And it's all just like super charming, super wonderful to look at. And just reading from this theme page here that we didn't get to see in the trailer, story is kind of what we expect, but still wonderful to do is there's a villain trying to suck up all the magic from the world, and we're there to stop it with our little swapping powers, copy and paste everything. A lot of action, a lot of puzzles, a lot of platforming, and lots of fun characters. And what was something special about this game that I feel like a lot of games in this don't really get to, because it's really focusing on collecting things rather than kind of story and all that, is that there's going to be a bunch of side quests with a lot of characters.
Nice.
That's what they're kind of boasting. Just to like rattle off just what they have here is meet the little people, the Etoy, and heal the forest of the Riverside with them. Team up with the fish gang and defeat the bully sharks. Yeah, meet the water watchdogs, face the night runner, win contests, solve the mysteries of the stone beats, or just visit Sir Edler's gem store. If you want to get creative, talk to Pix. With his help, you can design your very own textures for the game. Yes, that's right. If you want, you can paint your own textures and put them in the game world. Paint your own sea, rivers, walls, forests, trees, and much more. So you can make the game look entirely curated to what you want to see. So it's just going to be a fun time, helping your buds out, meeting the people, stopping the bad guys, and swapping all the textures in the game.
As you're reading all this, and it was already kind of in my head, kind of a very it's very different, obviously, but there are elements of trickery to me, right? Of messing with this game world, and like, again, I bet a bunch of the quests are like, oh boy, I really wish I had an apple, and and then you turn the rock next to him into a giant apple, stuff like that, and that's kind of like the trickery vibe of like, creative solutions to mundane problems. You know what I mean? Like, is a really interesting thing. And as you were talking about it, again, like, just a really great core mechanic, right? It's vaguely, at first I was like, it's kind of Kirby like, right? Like, taking something from something else and combining it with, like, it reminds me of the N64 Kirby specifically. The combining of powers and stuff there. I want to point out, like, I wonder if you know, as you were talking about here in the painting sequence of like pulling the art from one thing and putting on the other, looks like, there's that mole guy that's got all the gems. Like, I'm curious if you pulled the mole guy and brought him into reality, or you pulled the mole guy and put him into a painting and that made him happy. It's just like, very like, just such a innovative gameplay mechanic that has so many potential uses. And curious just how far it goes, how like, even here it's just a color thing, right? You pull the blue out of here, you throw it over here, they all turn a little blue. Like, it's
and they're pumped about it.
They're like, oh fuck yeah! Like, that could be one of those ones, like, where they're like, those side quests I was talking about, where they're like kind of disappointed, like, red mushrooms, that's so played out. And then you come over, you just throw a blue on there, and they're like, oh yeah, that's new. Yeah, truly, I have no idea. What is this character, by the way? It's like a little bear man.
I'm trying to figure out. It just says Ruffy, the chosen one.
Got a big old mouth. So happy.
It's got gloves, a cowl. Looks like you're just hanging out.
Great, really interesting design, but I'm here for it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
still there's no date on it, unfortunately. It says to be announced. So hopefully sometime in the next year or two we'll see this. But
yeah, this
yeah,
feels
it's
like
exciting.
one of those games that's gonna be like a surprise, like mega hit, you know, where
Mhm.
people are suddenly talking about it a lot. Like, where'd this come from? And we can all, everyone that was here today can say, bro, we were there. We saw it when it debuted, and we were all on board for it. Just like me with the Barbie movie, y'all can
Mhm.
go away and say, you know what? I was there. I was hyped from the get go. No, I'm pretty excited for this. Do you have anything for good old Ruffy?
I mean, covered most of it. It just like really caught my eye as one where it's a game that you like really play in the world. You know, there's like games you play and then games you play in.
Yeah.
And it's especially after what you said with like you can draw your own textures and, you know, bring in your own stuff into this world. Like it's just such a playful seeming game. So it looks really cool.
Is it bad that the first thing I thought of that I know is probably gonna happen when Oscar said you can paint your own textures is I was like, someone's just gonna fucking make the Ahegao like jacket in this game, where like it's just anime girls doing the weirdest faces all over this game. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
It could happen.
There's some degenerates out there. No, yeah, super interested. Like I said, the chicory, the getting the feelings and the vibes of like chicory, where you're again, where you said playing with the world, you know, and messing with it and tweaking it to your liking is really cool. And yeah, hype for whenever this comes to be. This is one of those ones. I don't care how long it takes. Take your time.
Yeah.
You know? And coming to the Switch, perfect Switch game. Perfect Switch
Oh
game.
yeah.
Rickroll textures, yeah. I'm going to be brought back to You're the Man Now dog pages with just one repeating texture over and over again all over the map. Yeah, Ruffy and the Riverside. Yeah. Again, another game that I would say pretty high on the whole week's, you know, games, and
Very.
came from the Future Game Show. Future Game Show brought some heat. Brought some heat for sure. And we head now to the final game of our spotlight. And we cleared the runway for Fern to really have some fun with this one. So
Save the best for last, everybody.
let me get in there. Should we do we want to do shoutouts and then they fully clear the runway for you? Shoutouts for some of the other ones, little
Sure.
ones, because this is the one I think you'll have this in your mind too. This, one of the ones, and I think it was before this. It's Fretless was looking really cool.
Yeah, that was on my list.
This one,
This.
yeah. So it was like a chunk away. Here it is. I just really want to.
Oh yeah.
This one deserves like a little more than just an honorable mention because it looked really, really, really cool. This is Leica, aged through blood, and actually, let me see if I have any cool information while I just let the sequence play a little bit. That's the sign, Glory, of a good day of events. What was the frog count for that day? Because it was pretty high today. So, no, but Leica. Oh my god, I hadn't seen this. They're calling it a Motorvania, which is again, if you've played like the games like Trials, or there was like a motorcycle game on Mini Clip that was huge for a long time. It's got that style, but then it's like got some actiony stuff. It's got a full narrative where I think you're looking for your kid. It seems like is what I'm seeing from some of the imagery. Just looks so good, and the idea of hearing Motorvania tells me it's going to be this like big old world that we're going back and forth through as we upgrade the motorcycle. Yeah, I'm sorry to basically get a fourth entry here, but this game
okay.
just
Deserves
genuinely, when I saw the email come up, I was like, oh fuck, like that looks so cool. I need to let that one get some love, because I mean, this style again, the gameplay of taking I know, right, Sam? The gameplay of taking that kind of motorcycle you know, it is different because like those are kind of like rider physics based, where you're like kind of like leaning back and forth in the seat, and this is just pure control over the bike, it seems. But the other aspect of it that I just want to, and then I'll let you guys call out some shout outs, is the heaviness of the narrative, the literally holding a gun to someone's head and saying, you know, shut the fuck up, like stop fucking with me, you know, I need to know what's going on, and presumably it's because they're trying to keep your kid away from them, you know. So, yeah, that one. Yeah, as soon as I saw that email, I said, "Oh fuck, I need to bring this up because another towards the top of the list for me from the whole event, Future Game Show, man, sneaky." Any honorable mentions you just want to toss out names of and one line concept?
Atomic Picnic, that was very early on today. It was like a Risk of Rain / anime.
Oh yeah,
You know, boss fighting and enemy fighting with your friends, upgrading your stuff and going through different levels. The Brew Barons still floating around the top of my mind is building your own like distillery or brewery and creating and making your own down to the bottles, the labels, and delivering that in little planes to the people who are buying your product. While the Iron's Hot, which is a blacksmithing little sim.
yeah,
That's cool.
Where you're, you know, forging swords and stuff for adventures and all that, and making those deliveries and look like part of it there is like maybe going into these places and just going to mine and trying to avoid all the combat, and because you're just a little blacksmith man. One that maybe I was a little bit excited about to play with the friends is Headbangers Rhythm Royale, just 'cause I love a rhythm game. Looked super silly, looked super fun to play.
the Goofy Pigeon game.
Yeah, goofy pigeon game, Minions-esque, Minions adjacent.
Minions adjacent better than Minions.
And one I haven't called out, but this is my last one I'm gonna call out just because I feel like I'm taking too much time, is The Spirit of the Samurai. That's the last one we saw.
Yeah.
One of the last ones we
really
saw,
interesting.
like the stop motion, like claymation thing where you play as a samurai, a little alien dude, and a cat. And that looked like a super, super, super fun, beautiful to look at game. That
Really
is just, yeah.
Any shout outs
For me?
before your final?
Let's go.
I took away all my other shout outs because I basically had a fourth entry.
Oh, you can do more.
No,
It's
no.
all good. Solar Punk was looking really cool to me.
Grass roof.
Grass roof. You know, like building, crafting, farming, survival with airships and like renewable energy sources, having to like power stuff. What else? Frog Song out now. Just
Yeah,
a
that
little
was-
shout out to that. I'm so excited.
There's several times throughout this week where you've had the E3 hype moment that I don't think
Yeah.
you'd ever expect to have, and you had it several times over.
Yeah. I Am Caterpillar. I Am a Caterpillar looked really cool. That was a world premiere one. Like just playing a little caterpillar climbing up through the world, up, and like being told you're gonna turn into a butterfly, and you say no, I'm a caterpillar. So some, you know, some sort of vibes there.
What kind of vibes? Say
Some
it.
trans vibes.
Say it with your
there.
chest, bro.
I went looking to see if it actually is, but I can't find anything yet. But I'm rest assured I'm going to find out if it is a trans narrative. I hope so. Kameru, the breeding and collecting frogs.
frog
and
crafting
restore-
game, I think is
Yeah,
how
frog crafting game.
I was like, the hell?
I mean, that just sounds fun and silly. And seeing Magical Delicacy again, and a magical cooking game. That one just looks so beautiful, the pixel art style.
Oh yeah.
Very much looking forward to that one. Build a frog.
Build a frog.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. I think we have a new business idea. VGG presents Build a Frog.
Yeah. And then I'll go into my last one if you don't mind.
And I was gonna.
Oh, do you have more?
I'll toss in one more
Okay.
because I saw it on here.
Okay.
Nate's 5th entry coming up.
Well, obviously, Beastie Ball Kickstarter is now live. Beastie Ball
Uh-huh.
love. Beastie Ball's love. Beastie Ball's life. But also Everdeep Aurora, which was this like really cool 2D kind of Metroidvania style game where you're playing as a little cat exploring through this world, and it was one of those really interesting games where everything's all on one screen. Where your inventory, even the description of the inventory items, two different windows, your mini map, your health, your everything is all on this one screen, and then the game is in this like 4x3 square in the middle. I love games like that. There was one during GDQ. Do you remember this, Oscar? It was like a shoot 'em up, and it had like a million things across the edges of the screen that like was like, what is happening over here? But also kind of compelled to look deeper and like kind of look at the nitty gritty of everything going on. I don't know. Yeah, it was like a random one I just caught like early in the morning on GDQ. But just love the idea of like not having to break my immersion and hop in and out of stuff. It's really cool. Honestly, Story of Seasons had a really nice presentation here, and
Yeah.
that's what I paused on because it's right before your final game.
Uh-huh.
Story of Seasons, this one looks like it's going to be the one that finally breaks through in a big way. Even just looking at some of the stuff where there's better contextual, like I feel like one of the issues in those games is like you have to hit pause to go into the menu to pull out your hoe to then go back out of pause and da da da. Oh, now I need to plant seeds. I got pause again. Gotta go. And it like breaks up everything. So there was like the toolbar where you like the classic Stardew kind of toolbar was shown there, and there's like more interactions across the whole button set. They're actually using the whole controller. Like I feel like those older Harvest Moon Story of Seasons games were a lot more limited because of course the technology was different, but you need to see them embrace the stuff that games like Stardew have added to make the genre even better, and starting to see that from them, so it's cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they highlighted 2 different queer relationships in this little
Yeah,
clip too,
yeah.
which obviously is a big thing for this one.
Yeah, and then they them, especially in this presentation, the character you see is a they them the whole time. Yeah, super excited. This is the one where you like aging with your kids and everything, and it's very cool. But the runway has officially been cleared. Nothing else to be
Everyone
said.
get out of the way.
Engines.
It is now the Fern stream because, drum roll please, brrr, it's the tiny bookshop. Take it away.
The tiny bookshop. This is like my most hype one. So it's sort of a management sim where you're managing this little like mobile bookstore. And so I was looking around a bit, and you can like buy these bundles of books from like classified ads that are like bundled by like a certain type of genre or something like that. You don't really know what you're getting, but you can buy those, and then you have like like that. You have like an inventory in storage and an inventory like on the shelves, and so you're like managing the rotation of it, what you're putting out, and you're going to multiple different like locations, communities, and sort of getting to know people there. You can like listen in on people's conversations. You can decorate the interior and exterior of your bookshop and make it really cozy for people.
Books.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. It's just the books.
Punk rock books. What else? What else did I see?
Yeah, trying to get screenshots.
Oh, it said something about like you can observe people's like clothing or like things about them and sort of like make guesses or assumptions about like what kind of books they're looking for. So, looking for those sort of contextual things about the place that you're in and deciding what you're gonna put out on the shelves to get better sales. Like that all just seems really neat.
Yeah, so I guess this answers my own question right here. I was like, I'm curious if like for the day you get to decide, okay, where are we gonna bring the bookshop, and you have this screen here. I'm gonna frame by frame, baby. This is what we bring. This is what we bring to the games industry, the games coverage. people are frame by framing like the latest Final Fantasy 16 trailer, you know, to try to get every little piece of information. We're out here, tiny bookshop. We're going, there's a full newspaper. Let's check this out, you know.
Yeah, man. Look, this article was written by Fern.
There you go.
There you
we
go.
This is how we reveal you actually worked on this. Yeah, it seems like you're kind of keeping up with a constant schedule, you know, of things happening in the town. And yeah, I was curious, like, how much how much, like, you know, keeping up with, if there's like even that element of, like you said, it is a management game, but it's obviously a cozier management game. But
Yeah.
I wonder if you're doing like supply and demand, right? Like where people are like begging for more mystery novels, and so you're like desperate to find more, or even like if there's some amount of really interesting like collector, like there's a collector guy, and so like you're really like buying all these boxes and hoping to get this rare book or something, you know, like that could be really a really cool
little gamba in
the
book.
You're going to yard sales, you're like, okay, let's go open the loot box.
I'm refreshing eBay every day.
No, but yeah, this looks really cool. Yeah, did you have more there, or did I cut you off?
No, that's mostly it. There's not really a lot about it yet, but all of that I saw is just really cool.
And was that from the last year or this year? This post?
This is the most recent post.
It was like from today or something. Yeah. So they're saying in the Tiny Bookshop post from the Wholesome Direct, at the very end, they say they have a demo that will be playable at Gamescom in Germany, but they will work to get it up online as soon as possible after that. So by the end of the year, and a couple months actually, Gamescom's like in August, so it's not that far away. We'll get some hands-on time with this. Yeah, truly just, I mean, it's 100% your vibes, but I love, you know, I love me a little retail management.
We're just gonna be sitting here playing side by side with our own.
Other people will be playing like, you know, like other people play Tears of the Kingdom side by side, Skyrim side by. We're over here with our tiny bookshops, and I go, I'm investing in mystery novels.
You killed fish.
Oh no, this out of context. Yeah. Really curious to see how this game like flushes itself out and what it is, and it's just
delightful. I think it's the first game from them too.
Very cool. Obviously, as we said, I book club ass stream for sure.
Come into Fern's book club.
For sure. It's gonna be one of those
as soon as possible.
It's gonna be a stream series where I'm like, Julie, please, can we go to bed? I'm gonna be like, often be playing games. I'll be playing like, by the time it comes out, who knows what's out, but you know, I'll be playing like Starfield or something. And I'm like, Julie, please, you've been streaming Tiny Bookshop for 6 hours.
I'm gonna say another day because Sharon is waiting for her children's book for
And
her child.
I finally rolled good on my loot crate and got it. No, yeah, I'm happy to have again, as I said, clear the runway, get this game the shout out and big spotlight here at the end that it deserves, because truly, really, again, top of the list. This day had a lot of like top 10 of the whole week so far games, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
Fish, do you have anything for Tiny Bookshop?
I'm excited to see it. I may even dabble. I love me a little management sim game.
That's what I'm saying.
I love me a little game, but if there's a little game in there, you know I'm being there.
You're like, yeah, you don't have a 5-star rare children's book, Julie?
Yeah, you don't have the first edition of this mystery drama. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clip, Sam.
Super excited for this, and super excited for all the games today. What an exciting day it was. We were a little bit, so full context, right? Last night we did our night stream for the week, the one stream all week that is going to be a little later in the day, and
there's another one.
Well, it ends at pretty late, but it starts at like 10 that day.
No, I'm talking about the 6 p.m. one.
That's Monday. What I'm saying.
Oh, what?
There's showcases on Monday too, that start at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So we're starting early too, and not
Sure.
where I don't get to sleep in that day. Basically, what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like I was able to yesterday.
Nice.
Um,
Look at this camp out gamer.
but yeah, yesterday we did our nighttime stream recap and rewatch of some shows that happened earlier in the day. That accessibility one was also in like an 8 a.m. one, so
Yeah.
there was no way we were doing that. But then we did it the next day anyways. Haha. But then we wrote our recaps, which again, you want to toss those links out there
Sure.
for yesterday's shows, which were the excess dash ability summer showcase, which was just a fantastic show, and the Tribeca Games Spotlight, which had some incredible games and was Fern's first piece of writing for the week. On there, I contributed a little blurb on Despelote and The Expanse. Got to shout out Ted Lasso, in the article, which I always love to do. Yeah, we went to bed at like 2. To be up by like 6:30 to make sure we were ready to go for this stream, and we pulled it off.
So in short, please click on our links
Please
today.
read them and tell us
Please
that we're
reward us.
it's